Hey folks, how's it going? This is Iron Seagull here, back with another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So, I was in the process of doing a different video where I talk about mods that help fix my wedding stories because, well, I mean, at this point, I think it's safe to say that my wedding stories is more known for being broken than any of the actual content that it provides. But yeah, I was in the process of making a video where I list some mods that help fix my wedding stories. And I saw simscommunity.info ended up doing an article about that, so I read to see if I missed any. And while I already knew of the mods in that list, I did see something else pretty interesting that I thought warranted its own discussion in a separate video. The article did link to a Did You Know thread on the official forums about my wedding stories, and one of the featured modders, Bienshen, who I highly recommend checking out. I have a bunch of their mods installed. I'll leave a link to their website in the video description below. But Bienshen did post a couple of interesting things. There were actually plans to allow cats and dogs as ring and flower bearers. Hints/leftovers of these plans can be found in the tuning files. Wedding immediate aisle, dog check, send flower down, and wedding immediate aisle, dog check, send flower up. These two aren't so much in your face, but both interactions have been specifically set to allow for cats and dogs to do them. Wedding aisle walk down ring, wedding aisle walk down flower. I'm very sad this idea was abandoned later. It can be clearly seen in the overall tuning that they actually did run out of time and resources with this pack. There is also tuning for letting cats and dogs walk down the aisle without a roll attached to them. I have not checked yet whether this is actually possible in-game. Wow, if this was actually completed enough for modders to simply, enable it, then that would be pretty awesome, I think. And yeah, just even more evidence that this pack was not finished. I guess probably because they wanted to get this out at least during the same month as Valentine's Day, but I guess, I mean, I can understand getting that out with that timing, but I guess they just didn't start this pack early enough. I mean, they probably still started it before Dream Home Decorator was finished, but yeah, it definitely sounds messy. But I was also wondering something, because I personally had never heard of the concept of a dog or a cat being a ring bearer, so I took to Google and oh my god, I think my heart was almost overwhelmed just by the amount of cuteness that I saw. Here's just a few pictures, and well, thankfully I recovered and was able to complete this video, so that's good, I suppose. But wow, if they had managed to pull this off, I think this would have been one of the coolest pack integrations they've done with The Sims 4, at least in terms of ideas. I mean, it still could have ended up being super buggy like the rest of the pack, but wow, what an idea. That's just so interesting to me. Before doing this video, I was not sure in a practical sense how they could get a dog or a cat to walk down the aisle with a ring. But yep, those pictures definitely answered that, so I guess they basically would have the rings tied to the pet's back, and then they would just walk down the aisle like normal. I think there is also another animation they could reuse from cats and dogs, because I'm pretty sure when cats and dogs find a collectible out in the wild, they just have this little animation where they turn their necks. So it's like as if they're kind of putting something in their pocket. So they could do, I suppose, a reverse version of that for the cat or dog putting the ring onto their back. So at least then there would be something a little bit more than the ring suddenly popping onto the pet's back as they walk down the aisle. But overall, what a cool discovery. I love it when modders just discover things hidden in the game like this, even though at the same time it is also sad that it didn't make it into the final product. It is kind of unfortunate, like, how there's been so much demand for Dine Out to be refreshed, but really, my wedding stories could use it more, even though it just came out last week. And, I mean, if this pack did get refreshed in some way, then I guess this would be their chance to actually complete that feature. In reality, I'm not expecting much more of my wedding stories to be fixed. Like, maybe they'll fix the efficient, since I haven't seen anybody got that working in a vanilla game, and maybe just like a couple of other things like months later, but yeah, other than that, I don't really have high hopes for them fixing much more of this pack. But I do find it very interesting how The Sims Twitter has been completely silent since the release day. Because, I mean, usually even if there's no news, they retweet some builds or reply to some nice comments, but not even that. It's just complete silence, so it does make me wonder maybe if they are preparing some sort of statement and action plan for actually addressing all the concerns with my wedding stories. But again, yeah, it's just something we're gonna have to wait and see. I'm not expecting it, but it's definitely worth pointing out, in my opinion, just how silent they have been lately, even in comparison to other times. I know in terms of the roadmap that covers the first 3 months of this year, there is supposed to be one more kit, so we are going to be getting a kit unless it gets delayed, but oh boy, I'm really hoping that we don't hear anything about that this week. They really should address this game pack and its brokenness first. And that wraps up another Sims Info and Thoughts video. So feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below on this scrap crossover between cats and dogs and my wedding stories. And be sure to subscribe if you'd like to keep up with my latest gaming content, including life simulations and more. So I will talk to you all later, and have a great day. Thanks for watching!